Hello again, Rebecca here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're using the Echo Park Lost in Neverland. And this is just what I had, the remnants of my collection pack here of this Lost in Neverland collection. This is what I have left. I'm going to cut some of that out. These are the scraps that I have, and I'm just kind of showing you what I have left. Today I am going to do a double page layout just because I want to use up this collection. That was the 12 by 12 sheet of stickers I had left, some of the die cuts, and the only two 12 by 12 pattern papers that I had left. So at first I think I'm going to make two separate layouts, but I changed my mind quickly and do a double page layout of these pictures of my son from when he was just a little baby and we took him to the Raging Rivers water park. So I went ahead and pulled out this paper pad that I had, and I'm going to grab two of these cream colored sheets. Those are going to serve as my background for the cardstock. And then I still really have no idea what I'm doing with the paper, so I'm kind of looking at it. I did fussy cut out that one piece right there and stick it with my die cuts. I'm looking, so I'm going to pull my trimmer back out, and I'm going to go for and then I was looking to see which way the pattern paper on the other side goes, so we're going to cut this last into 2x2 and have those little Indian huts. Now I'm looking at this and we're going to cut this. I'm measuring to see how much it is, and I'm going to cut it in half. And we have this pattern paper right here, and I'm looking, trying to figure out which way I want the feathers to go, and I do ultimately decide to go this way, and we are going to do 3x3 or 3x12 and then another 3x12, and I'm going to end up with a 6x12 piece left, and that is not going to get used, but everything to the right of my trimmer is going to get used up. I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and I'm just measuring, it's a 6, I think it's a like 8x8, so I just cut it right in half. And again, cutting this in half. Like I said, now everything that goes to the right of the trimmer is going to get used on the layouts. Everything that went to the left is what I have left over. So after I do finish this layout, I do create one, or after I finish this double layout, I finish one more single page layout and successfully use up that collection pack. Super excited day right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and line my cardstock up so that it's even. And I'm going to get the base pattern papers all set down. And I'm going to go ahead and do the right side of the page, and then I'm going to flip over and do the left side. So here I'm really trying to figure out what I want to do. This seems to be where I'm going with it. And now everything that's going to the left is the stuff that goes on the other side of the page. So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, all right, well, this is what I have. So right here, I'm like, well, I'm going to go ahead and dovetail out both sides of this blue paper that was just a scrap to begin with. And I'm very unsure of the way that I want to do my layout. And since I just went ahead and dovetailed the other piece as well, just so that it was done, I believe. Not real sure. I wasn't really looking at the screen, I'm sorry. So then I'm looking at this and I'm like, all right, I do like these 3 strips right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get that stuck down to the sheet. And I'm going to take this little Lost Boys one, and I'm going to set it right on top of that one as a shelf. And then I'm going to actually overlap the Lost Boys because their bodies were cut off. Then I decide, let's just go for it. And I'm going to make 2 banners out of these long strips. And I'm going to just like that, kind of wonkily attach them to the page. So we're going to get the adhesive just down the center of each of those. I do come back later and add more adhesive. And I run them off the edge. I'm going to take this piece And at first I run it along the line and I'm like, I don't like that. Let's just straighten it out. And then here's where we're going with some more adhesive just to make sure that everything is stuck nicely down. Trim off the excess, and that is going in the recycling bin because I don't save those small of pieces. Now here is the green sheet, and all I'm going to do is just lay it right down half over the other layout just so that I can get them to line up. And I know that that's going to sit right on top of it, so in theory it should line up. And then I'm going to get the last piece, and I'm going to have to pull out the other side, and I'm just going to line it up with that. And there you go. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this piece, and I'm going to banner that one off. And then I'm going to take the other little Indian hut thing and banner that off as well. And I'm going to pull that layout out because I don't want to screw it up. We're going to put some adhesive on these two banners, and we're going to do the same thing. Only we're going to do it to the other side of the page. So it's like my bookends. I do have 4 pictures, like I said, of my son at the Raging Rivers Water Park when he was just a baby, still in diapers. I love going through things and finding old pictures. And we're just going to run that one right there. Turn it over. I'm going to trim off the excess. And that is pretty much my layout. Now, I do get a lot of embellishments used up on this. And like I said, I come back off camera and I create a third layout. And I pretty much, it's one of the layouts where you just, it has lots and lots of decorative pieces and embellishments on it. So I do go ahead and take that little photo block right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim this one down to a 4x4. I cut it as close on this side to get that lady out in the background, and then I just smidge it off just a little bit right there. And then this one is as well going to be a 4x4. Then I have this one right here, which we're going to make so I have one square picture and one rectangle picture that will go on each side of the layout. Once I decided what I was going to do with the layout, it did come together fairly quickly. And now I'm looking here, and we're going to put this one right about there. And I am going to come back in and trim just a smidge off of the bottom of that one and the other one because I want it to be matted on that green. Obviously the long one is not going to get matted, but it's okay. So I just trim a couple of those off. And we're going to go ahead and get that stuck down. Now I do have the date and everything wrote on the back of these pictures because apparently back then I did that. I don't do that anymore. Now I just, hope to God I still have the photo in my camera so I can look back at the date. So that's that one. Now we're going to come back over here and we're going to get this one placed down. And we're going to do the same thing. And right there, July 2000, I don't know if it was 3 or 5. I'm thinking 2003. Everybody gets some extra adhesive just stuck underneath that little piece right there. I do like this right here. Just always be waiting for me. And we're going to get that stuck right here. And I'm going to go ahead and pull out some of these things. I'm going to pop all the frames off and try to use what I can. I'm going to use some of the cheap foam. Again, I really love the way that these two layouts, this double page spread turned out. And I am extremely happy that I was able to kill off this collection. Although I like it so much, you never know, I may purchase it again in the future. I'm just going to grab some, I believe that is black and white twine. As you know, that was my product focus bin. And I have lots of twine and stuff that I do not, it's just things that I don't use very often because it's not in my little collection kits that I put together and stuff. So I'm trying to just randomly throw things in there. Like when I have just a couple stickers left off of a sheet or something, I will throw it in there and dig through it at a later date. Now I'm looking at more of these, and I was trying to figure out if I could use the frame. That does not make it. I do pull this one back over because I like this saying as well, and we are going to stick it right up there at the top. Now you guys know I'm normally a layer everything up touching type of scrapbooker, but in this case I did somewhat put things just in random outer spaces just to fill up the blank white space that was in certain areas. I do come back and like add a little extra to some stuff. And I'm just still going through everything to see what I might want to use. I did really try this You Can Fly, and it is going to, I do fuss around with it a little bit, but I do end up putting it right there. The Just Always Be Waiting for Me is going to serve as the title of my page. It has nothing to do with what he's actually doing, but it does have to do with the fact that, you know, it's been me and him for almost 19 years, and I was a single mom for a long time, and I'm a single mom now, and it's just always been me and him, and it will always just be me and him, no matter who is in or out of our lives. He is definitely my everything. I do go ahead and take some pieces off the sticker sheet. That one right there I popped up on some foam tape and stuck it down in the blank space in the green. I do have this little pirate ship, and we're going to get him stuck right between the photos. I'm just looking for little things that I could grab, but I do grab a lot of different things from this sticker sheet. And we're going to pop some of these things up on foam tape. I tend to just, when they're small like that, I'll put the foam tape where I want it to go and make the sticker stick over it. And there's a lot of little bitty sayings and such. And then we were going to come back in, and I did want something that said Neverland on it. And I'm okay with putting things over the photo. I mean, there's nothing really important. It's my kid's face. I do go ahead and grab all these little bitty sayings, and I try to use up as many of them as I can. Just scattered around the page. Another thing that I have a hard time using is enamel dots. I love them, I have them, but they're just not, they're not in my kits for some reason. I should start putting them in there, huh? So now here's where I believe I'm going to start grabbing these little bitty circle fairies. And they are small like enamel dots, so I do actually just go ahead and end up sprinkling them around the page and using them as an enamel dots sort of thing. They're tiny, they're big. I get some of them used, and I'm not real sure there's much else that I'm going to do to this. It's everything I had left that I'm showing you there. And so, give me a thumbs up if you like the page, and I will see you next Random Friday. Oh, I'm going to write the date on here. Just right down here. And then just a little journaling right there that basically said Samuel's first time at Raging Rivers Water Park. All right, there's my double page layout. Thank you.